Okay, again, we're going to graph each of these lines by finding the x and y intercept. You might see a tutor or someone teach you to do it this way. I want you to understand it's the same way. They make an XY table and they put zeros like this, and then they plug in the 0 to figure out the y, and then they plug in the 0 to figure out the x. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. So if you prefer this, that's fine. That's like finding the intercepts using the table of values that we did below. It is the same thing. Typically what I do is I go ahead and write it down like this. So for this one, I'm going to find the x-intercept first. X-intercept, I know that my y value will be 0. For my y-intercept, I know that my x value has to be 0. So if you want to do this quick, like I said a while ago, you could just say for the x-intercept, you want to find the x-intercept, the y value is 0, cover that up. Divide both sides by -3, and the x-intercept is going to be -4. You can do that in your head if you want. If you want to show the work, please be my guest and show the work. The work would simply be to find the x-intercept. The y value is 0, so you'd have -3x plus 6 times 0 equals 12. It's just -3x equals 12, so divide by -3 and x is -4. So I'm just trying to get you to see it in your head if you'd like. Same thing with the y-intercept. If you want to get the y-intercept, then you know you can cover up the x. If you want to get the y-intercept, divide both sides by 2 and you can already say that it's 2. That is the y-intercept. But again, if you want to show the work, which is great, so you get the understanding, the y-intercept, the x value is 0, so it'd be -3 times 0, and we have to figure out what the y value would be. That's just 0, so 6y equals 12, the y equals 2. Just make sure you understand that these two don't go together. It's not going to be like this is the x value and this is the y value. Not at all. When you find the x-intercept, it's written as -4, 0. So when I graph it, it'll be -4, 0 for my x-intercept. My y-intercept would be 0, 2 right there, and we have a line that pretty much does this. Next problem. I tell you what, for this problem I'll go ahead and do it with the tables just to show you that it's the same thing and students can do how they want. If you wanted to do this problem by doing the following, as long as you understand it's really the exact same process. You put a 0 like this and a 0 for this, and you identify which is which. In the first case, you're plugging in a 0 for x. Now if you want to do this quickly, just cover that up. Divide both sides by 6 and it's going to be -2. Why do I cover it up? Because when you plug in a 0 for x, that term will cancel. So that's just 0. So you have 6y equals -12. The y equals -2. If you want to do the other one, if you want to plug in a 0 for y now, we'll cover up the y. Divide both sides by -2, and keep in mind, -12 divided by -2 will be a +6. But if you want to show the work, no big deal. I'm going to try to squeeze this in. I'm running out of room. So in this case, my y value is 0. So my x value is the one that I need to figure out. 6 times 0 equals -12. I think it's going to be cut off there. So that's just -2x equals -12. Divide and you get 6. The only thing is, if you do it this way, just make sure you identify and know which is which intercept. The first one here is the y-intercept, 0, -2. You know that because you're going to go, the x value is 0 and you're going down 2. Second one is the x-intercept. So if you prefer that way of writing it using a table as opposed to the way I'm doing it here by writing it side by side, it's great. Whichever way you'd like is fine.